Hey Internet, my name is Abby and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program on Wings. We are still shortly after the return of our Apollo mission, and so in this case I haven't done any time warp or anything like this, and I want to bring you up to speed what is going on in this episode, because I have the slight feeling that this episode will be full of correction burns, just because there are so many correction burns coming up before we will arrive at Eve. And maybe we will have also our return window from Moho, and maybe we will have a launch window up to dress. I'm not quite sure about these two things because I do not know how long it will take for Moho to arrive at the right position, and also for Eve to be not Eve, for dress to be at the right position. So I do not know if we manage to finish all the correction burns, or if we have in between leaf burn or a burn from Moho back to Kerman or something like this. I don't know. We will see, we will find out when I start doing the time warp. But at first I want to explain something, because well, version 0.24 is now being released, but unfortunately I'm not able to play this because until I will have my PC upgrade, so that I upgrade my computer and I will upgrade my Windows so that I do have a 64-bit system. Currently I'm running at a 32-bit system, and Kerbal Space Program has a severe issue with a 32-bit system and the allocation of RAM. So in this case, it's often crashing, and well, it was already crashing with 0.34, no, 0.3, no, 0.23, 0.23, 0.5, and so on. But here it wasn't so frequently crashing, but now with the upgraded version of 0.24, the game is even crashing when I just try to load in the save game. So in this case, the only option for me was to go back to the old version. So we are currently in version 0.23.5. And here, till I have my PC upgrade, we will probably stick with this version. But I don't think that this is really a problem, because well, the main feature of 0.24 is the contracts, and honestly, the contracts are a nice feature, and they might be interesting and so on. But on the other hand, I have so many things to do. As I said, I want to explore the Julian system, I want to land on Ilu, I want to leave Moho, I want to land on Dress, and I want to land on Eve, and so on. So yeah, there are so many things that, well, the contracts just say to you, okay, test out some component in a certain situation, or plant a flag on a certain moon or something like this. So yeah, this is interesting, but I have so many goals for my own that I'm not really missing the contract functionality, and in this case I think it's still a good way to play the game with the old version. And yeah, honestly, I think I won't miss really the contracts, because well, they don't add any good feature to me. The only thing I will miss are the new RTS engines. But yeah, certainly, or well, in the near future I will have a PC upgrade, and then I will be able to play hopefully also a version 0.24, and until this time we can still make good progress with the old version, because as I said, here we do have our goals, we do have our targets, and the upgrades with 0.24 aren't that big that they are really affecting the game so much for us. And yeah, in this case, we can move on. And now I want at first bring you up to speed what is going on in this episode. Aquarius and Kerman departure stage, I don't know, I think this is 4, is it 4? Yeah, 4. This is the mission for pick up the Eve lander and landing on Gilly. It will arrive in apparently 35 days after a correction burn, coming up in 5 days and 3 hours. Then we do have Aquarius. The Eve lander will arrive at Eve in 39 days, so some days after the arrival of the Gilly lander, and will have a correction burn in 6 days. So we have a correction burn in 5 days and in 6 days. Then we do have the fleet of our Jewel mission. We have a burn coming up in 42 days. Okay, this burn will be after arriving at Eve. Then we do have a burn coming up in 27 days, and then we have a burn coming up in 37 days. So 37 days. Yeah, this will be directly between the arrival of the Gilly lander and the Eve lander. and then we do have a burn coming up in 50 days. So yeah, we have some burns, and as I said, we also have the maybe a return window from Moho, and we have a launch window up to Dress. So I am not quite sure what will happen in this episode, because I need to do the time warp to arrive at the maneuver nodes and to do the correction burns. And yeah, I will bring you back in each time I arrive at a certain spot, and then we do the burn, or we leave from Moho, or we leave to Dress. I don't know. As I said, I'm not quite sure how time will what time will bring us. In this case, yeah, let me just do a time warp, and I will bring you back in when we do have our first time, or the first thing to do, and I assume it will be the correction burn for our Gilly lander in about 5 days. So yeah, we will find out. And yeah, as a reminder, no 0.24 in this Let's Play series so far. I'm thinking about a PC upgrade at the end of this month, so maybe at the end of the month we will have also contracts, but as I said, I don't think that contracts will really add so much additional feature to this episode or this Let's Play series, because we do have a lot of goals, and so the contracts are just a side effect. And if we have contracts or if we don't have contracts, it doesn't matter, I think. In this case here, so much about the first introduction, what is going on. And as I said, I think I will see you again in 5 days and 3 hours. And here we are with our Gilly lander. And yeah, we have managed to survive the 5 days and 3 hours time warp. And now it's about to search for the maneuver node. I could have done this a little bit earlier, so okay, there it is. And then we will do our next burn, or correction burn, so that we will arrive at Eve. And yeah, then I think this thing will also need a second correction burn to lower a little bit its periapsis, so that it will pass through the atmosphere of Eve to have an aero braking going on. But at first we need to arrive at in the general direction. Okay, let me do the burn, and what I'm doing here is, well, I need at first to establish an Eve counter again, and then I will do have a Eve periapsis of 22,000 kilometers, so this is still quite far away. Though this means that I need a second correction burn later on to make sure that I'm passing through the atmosphere. But yeah, we are then at least getting into the sphere of influence of Eve, and yeah, but before we do so, we need to do the second correction burn. Yeah, everything is working well, this is nice. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is the upcoming correction burn of the Eve lander, because yeah, the thing is still pretty huge in the part count and has a lot of parts. In this case, I think at this point maybe I need to do a time lapse or something like this. I don't know, because yeah, this thing will take some time, and it's running quite slow on my computer. And yeah, I think this will be the main reason, but right now we are doing now our burn to finally have again an encounter with Eve. And what else I wanted to talk about? There was some... oh yeah, ELO mission. The ELO mission. I completely forgot about the ELO mission as I introduced you to what is coming up. The ELO mission will also arrive within the next 2 months or so. In this case, yeah, there are so many things going on, and I need to pay attention to. That yeah, it's really a busy time currently. Okay, and we do have now our encounter again. This is great. And yeah, let me continue doing my burn so that I can finish everything as planned. And we are finished with this. Well done. So we now have our Eve encounter coming up in 30 days. This is amazing, and we currently do have an Eve periapsis as expected of around 22,000 kilometers. Let me focus view on Eve, because, well, yeah, you see, we are inside the orbit of Gilly, but we are not quite close. So in this case, we need then to do a second burn coming up in, I said it now, in 21 days. To make sure that we will arrive at Eve to have an aero braking maneuver. And now 1,000 kilometers, 240, 147. I think this is good enough. We can adjust this maybe later on. Oh wait, we can do this quite good. What this 40 kilometers? This is a little bit too close, but we can stop the burn a little bit earlier. So yeah. Oh, this is a little bit strange. Let me just try to have some kind of equatorial orbit. 29 kilometers. Well, we can just speed up a tiny bit. 83. Okay. Well, I can change a little bit the burn duration, but yeah, in 21 days we will have the next burn. To correct our approach to Eve. And now the next thing is, I think it's about 2 days or so until we have the next burn with our Eve lander. So let me do the time warp and I bring you back in once we are arrived with the burn maneuver for our Eve lander. Okay, here we are. 1 day and 5 hours have passed and we are now arrived at our next correction burn for the Eve lander. In this case, let me just throttle up and let's see how long this will take. It says it's a burn of about 4 minutes 30 seconds, so this will take some time. Yeah, because this will take some time, I think this is a good time to do some time lapse. But at first, I'd like to introduce you to one important thing. When we are going out and we are focusing our view on Eve, then you can see that the burn will bring us down to our Eve periapsis of 130 kilometers, so it's about a good altitude, well, not completely a good altitude for aerobraking. We need to lower it a little bit more, but yeah, we can do now our correction burn so that we have really our trajectory to have an aero capture by Eve, hopefully, when we are arriving at the sphere of influence of Eve. And here, this is now what we are going to do. And okay, I should just lower a little bit the throttle so that we are not overheating our engines. And you can see the attached interplanetary stage I've directly added to my Eve lander is doing a great job. And it will now take us about 4 minutes until we finished our burn. In this case here, I will do a little bit of time lapse this time because this is really a long time. And then, yeah, we'll meet again once the burn is finished. Okay, we have almost done this. We are... Now the trajectory is gone. This is interesting. Hi. Yeah. Okay, there's the trajectory again. This is good. So we have almost done this. We are in the last parts of our burn. And then we should be almost able to hopefully have achieved what I want to have achieved. Yeah, this is looking good. This is really looking good. Very good, very good. And let's cut the engine. Very nice, very nice. Okay, 159. What would happen if we continue this burn? This direction? Okay, then we are changing also this way. What would happen? I like to lower it just a tiny bit. I think I need to burn retrograde, right? Let me just see what happens if I reduce a little bit the velocity. Yeah, okay, I just need to burn retrograde, so we need to turn the heavy thing. We need to turn this heavy thing around. Let's turn the heavy lander. Well, it's turning quite nice. Well, maybe because I have so many inline reaction wheels attached to it, so that's why it's turning quite nicely. And okay, let's turn it retrograde, because then I can hopefully finish also the preparation for our arrival at Eve. Okay, like this. Now let me zoom in a bit. Let me, come on, enable the numbers, and let's do the burn. Okay, now you can see we are lowering it, and 75, 66, 62. I think 62 is at first a good altitude for our aerobraking maneuver. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so Yeah, this is finished, and yeah. The next thing, I'm not quite sure what it is. As I've demonstrated you, we have some burns coming up. On the one hand, in 20 days or so for the Gilly lander, then we have a lot of burns coming up for our dual fleet. And maybe we have even our return window again for Moho or something like this. I think dress will definitely take some time, so dress is not an option. Yeah, I will see. I will do time warp and then we will speak us again. Okay, we are back on the surface of a planet, or to be more precise, we are back on the surface of Moho. And here, unfortunately, we are currently in the night side, as we need to leave Moho. Because, well, here, the return window to Kerbal has arrived, and we now have our goal, or our next target, to at first set as target to rendezvous again with our driving section. And yeah, this is what is coming up next. Unfortunately, as I said, we need to do our burn to leave Moho again, or the surface in the nighttime side. Maybe I should have considered to leave Moho again just after landing there, as long as I'm in the daylight. But yeah, I completely forgot about this. And now we need to do this in the nighttime side. And yeah, let me just switch off the lights, because, well, the main problem is we are in the nighttime side, so our solar panels aren't generating any electricity, and so we need to save a little bit of our electric charge while we are waiting for our driving section to arrive again. Let me do a quick time warp so that it's getting closer to us, and so that we are able to finally do our burn and our liftoff to have a rendezvous with it. Okay, it's coming up now, and maybe right here. I think this should be a good idea to do another burn. It has an altitude of 24 kilometers. Okay, in this case, we are now ready to go. Let me at first retract the ladder. Let me check. Okay, I think I have collected all the signs from the outer parts. Oh, there is the thing, 80 kilometers, and it's approaching fast. Let me enable SES, let me switch on the lights, and lift off. Okay, we are now leaving Moho. Unfortunately, we are doing this in the nighttime side, but here, we are about to leave Moho. Now let's turn over. I have enabled SAS, have I? Yes, I do. Okay, let me just check. We need to speed things up. Oh, it's pretty agile. Okay, there is our trajectory. I think we can even expand a little bit our velocity, and yeah, let's cut here the engine. Okay, this allows us to climb up to a good altitude, and there we are hopefully then able to do our rendezvous. Oh, we are completely off, so this will be quite a challenge. But here, down there was our landing site, and we are now leaving Moho. Yeah, I'm a little bit sorry that we need to do this in the nighttime side, and we are not able to do this in the daylight. I really should have considered leaving Moho again, but I wanted to give Robo Kerman a little bit more of a chance to explore the surface of Moho and to do some experiments down there. But here, unfortunately, I completely forgot this. And what would I need to do if I want to change my trajectory up here so that we are able to have a rendezvous? Can I at some point create some kind of... No, not here. Okay, this is a little bit a wonky approach. Can we? Then the thing is still faster than us. Okay, I think we need at first to enter an orbit. And yeah, this is not good. This is not good that we are so far off with our trajectory. Yeah, I think this will do quite a challenge for us. Let me think about this. Well, the first thing is, this thing is getting closer. We need to speed up, so we need to make sure that we are not drifting too far away from each other. In this case, yeah, let's do the acceleration. And I also need to monitor a little bit what is going on here. Oh, what happened just? Okay, we lost... We need to get rid of these engines. Okay, and here, let's speed up again. Let's continue our burn. And it's looking nice. And okay, at first we have about the same velocity. This is good. Now maybe when we are doing a little bit of a burn in this direction, we can hopefully at first align our orbital vectors, our prograde and our retrograde vector. Very good, very good. Okay, and now the next thing is switch off the landing light. We do not need it anymore. Maybe to whoa, what's going on with the camera? Increase a little bit our velocity so that we are approaching a little bit faster. And then we do have, here, look at this, we do have now fixed our trajectory. We now have a separation of only 100 meters. And this is pretty amazing. This is pretty amazing, coming up in 2.5 minutes. So Robo Kerman did an amazing job. And we are back in the sunlight. Down there we landed on the surface of Moho. This was nice. And here I think for the next landings on different celestial bodies, like on Eve or on Gilly and on the Julian moons, I should definitely consider leaving them again as long as I'm in the daylight, because otherwise we are then leaving it again maybe in the nighttime side, and this is not so beautiful. In this case here, I think I should do this definitely in the daylight, because this is much more beautiful. And here, this is a lesson learned from our landing here on Moho. But right now, it's about to return back to our departure stage, or our interplanetary section. Now we have a beautiful view back to Moho. We do have 7 stored data. Can we do a crew report? Yeah, we could do this, but we have already done this, and we have 7 stored data from this. This is amazing. And here we are now only 250 meters away from our driving section. This is just amazing. We can maybe speed things up a bit to get closer. This is great. Okay, and I'm a little bit excited. I hope we do have enough fuel to return back to Kerbal, because this would be really bad if we are then running again out of fuel and we are not able to leave for Kerbal. I need to do some calculations before I do this. Okay, let's come to a stop here. At first we need to set this as our target, then switch over to docking mode. I now want to use oh, this is pretty agile, just the RCS to save a little bit of the liquid fuel, because if I'm returning some liquid fuel to the driving section, then this would increase a little bit the range of the driving section. In this case here, I like to save the fuel and bring it over into the orange fuel tank. How much fuel is left? Well, 68 units of liquid fuel. I'm not quite sure how much delta V this is for a nuclear rocket engine, but I hope this can make the difference we need to fly back home to Kerbal and deliver our science and our insights from the landing of Moho. Okay, yeah, I think from this position we can do our approach. Yeah, I think this could be good. Let me aim for the docking port, and let's start to fly up there. And also for some corrections during our interplanetary flight, we can even use a little bit of RCS in the hope that this can rescue us a little bit. Okay, let's slow down, because this thing is pretty agile and I don't want to crash into my interplanetary stage. Okay. Robo Kerman on his way back home to the interplanetary stage. And we are only a few meters away from our docking. Let me disable all of our controls. Okay, we have contact, we are wobbling around, and I hope the thing should stabilize pretty soon. And yeah, well done, well done. We do have our docking, we do have returned back to space from the surface of Moho. Well done, let me enable SAS again. Okay, we do not need any more shut down the engine, this engine. Then we have some fuel, we can bring it back over well, this doesn't make so much of a difference in the huge orange fuel tank, but at least a tiny drop of fuel we can leave later. We can use later on for our burn up to Kerbal. And yeah, this is, I think, now after we've done the first landings on Moho. Yeah, there we landed. After we have left Moho, after we have done some correction burns, I think it's now the good position to do a stop here and to continue in the next episode with the final burn to leave from Moho and to leave back home to return back to Kerbal. And yeah, then we do have some other correction burns coming up before we arrive at Eve and before we can perform our Eve landing. I'm really looking forward to. In this case, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this, and I hope you will be joining me in the next episode when we continue with our space program. Until then, my name is Abby. See you!